We know awkward fighters. Real fighters know awkward fighters. He's not an awkward fighter. He's just a dumb fighter.
Trying to kill me or I'm trying to kill you. You know, I think it's, let's go in here and make this money. You know, it's more of a business tactic than anything.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pounds.
At the press conference, Gervonta Davis turned up the heat when he openly warned Jake Paul. He stated clearly that he aims to end the fight in a brutal way and leave no questions about the result. Davis declared he is coming to knock Jake out and secure the win, showing complete confidence in his strength and focus.
He's a fighter that just started fighting. That's, you know how when somebody first come in the gym and yeah. When somebody first come in the gym and they've been coming for like a little minute, so they think they nice now. They ain't get all the everything down packed, but that's how he fight. I don't think he's an awkward fighter. Awkward is somebody, I don't want to call them names, but awkward is different from him. He's not awkward. We know awkward fighters. Real fighters know awkward fighters. He's not an awkward fighter. He's just a dumb fighter.
Eddie Hearn spoke openly about the unusual fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. He pointed out the big gap between real boxing and staged entertainment and said this event clearly belongs to the second. According to him, it is not about skill or true competition but only a show built to grab attention. Hearn even laughed at the matchup, calling it funny and reminding everyone not to mistake such events for top-level boxing. His comments highlight the concern of traditional promoters who feel that entertainment fights are taking focus away from the real sport.
We're getting Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. What can you tell me about that? What can you tell me about why Jake and Anthony has maybe been put to the side for now?
Yeah, they always told us that it was, we were looking at that fight for February of next year, and they always said that there was a chance that Jake would fight in November. I think, wasn't I the one that broke Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis 6 months ago or something? I knew that they'd agree that deal. I didn't know they were about to announce it then, but I did know that they'd agreed that deal previously. So I don't like it, if I'm honest. I mean, I think we need to really differentiate between boxing and an entertainment concept, and that's what that is. It's a freak show. It's entertainment. It's a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight. With, I don't know, is it bigger gloves and certain minutes per round? I don't know what it is, but, I understand the market and I understand this freak show, shock kind of the world mentality of people potentially tuning in. Is that a step too far? Maybe. I mean, I hated Jake Paul against Mike Tyson, but it did massive numbers. I hate Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis. It'll probably do massive numbers. So that's when you really have to differentiate yourself between, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it isn't going to do good business. Now, whether you want to be involved with it is another kettle of fish. I don't want to be involved with it, but I do respect the fact that it's going to do big.
Ariel Helwani shared a different view, noting that MMA fans often welcome unusual matchups while boxing audiences criticize them. He called this an unfair double standard. Helwani said that although the Davis vs. Paul fight is not traditional boxing, it still offers entertainment that people will enjoy. He stressed that it should not be judged like a title fight or official event but treated as a special one-time show. In his opinion, if fans of other combat sports can accept spectacle fights, then boxing fans should also enjoy this matchup without too much negativity.
Generally, I'm sure it'll be a little bit closer, maybe 200 to 150. How much bigger can Tank get? Why would that be somewhat celebrated in MMA, but in boxing it isn't? Do you know what I mean, Pizzi? In MMA, we sort of love the freak shows, but in boxing they don't. Why do you think that is? What does that say about us in MMA?
Well, we're a sick bunch of fucks. There's no doubt about that. But I will say,
you agree, right, or no?
Yeah. The idea of the MMA freak show is everybody coming together and saying, "Oh, we're gonna watch a freak show. This is what this is. We know what this is. It is absolutely mental what we're going to watch here." I think where people get annoyed with Jake is he even got me. You know what I mean? This guy is the greatest outrage farmer of all time. I saw his tweet and I was like, reading it, you know what I mean? And I was like, well, this is exactly what he fucking wants me to do. This is, every time I'm doing this, he's in the game of getting eyeballs and this is ridiculous. As long as why do I like an MMA freak show? Why would I watch Eddie Hall in an MMA fight against Dylan Dennis? I'd be like, this is fucking ridiculous, and I have to watch it. That's the way I feel about Jake Paul and Davis. I will watch it. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's all of us getting together to go to the circus for the evening. I think the reason why there's pushback against it when Jake does it is because Jake, and obviously tactfully, is going like, what are you talking about? This guy's a world champion. I took out Mike Tyson. He's a world champion. And then I'm going to take out Canelo and stuff like this. Like, he's winding us up. He's not agreeing to the stipulation that we're all agreeing on, which is this is a freak show. This is absolutely mental. As long as we can agree with that, we can all enjoy it collectively.
Chael Sonnen took a harsher stance as he dismissed Jake Paul's boxing ability. He argued that the Paul brothers do not show real skill in the ring and instead use their fame and money to land fights with big names. Sonnen pointed out the trend of Jake picking opponents who are legends or experienced fighters even though the technical gap is clear. For him, these matchups are not about fairness or real competition but about using influence and money to stay in the spotlight. His strong criticism echoed the view of many who see this fight as a business move rather than a true boxing contest.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pounds. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skill, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Hank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Hank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a dum-dum.
The size gap between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul has become one of the main talking points of this exhibition. Davis is a natural lightweight while Paul usually competes near cruiserweight, creating a huge difference in weight. This has sparked talk that the fight might already be set up in advance. Some experts argue that whatever happens, Jake benefits more than Davis. If he wins, he gains respect for beating a top boxer, and if Davis wins, people will downplay it because of the weight mismatch. These doubts have only added to rumors that the result could be arranged to push Paul's career forward.
Should be Jake Paul, shouldn't he?
No, he shouldn't.
You don't think? Sorry. So, I thought we were all unanimous here. Do you think that
shouldn't.
Do you think Jake Paul beats Gervonta Davis?
70 pounds is 70 pounds.
Gervonta Davis is very small. 5'5".
He's tiny, bro.
5'5".
That's
You
what I'm
got
saying.
Jake Paul
He's a little
6'1".
man.
If Jake Paul's tucking up
move on
and absorbing punishment for walking forward, then look, there's a way to run.
Ryan Garcia compared the Davis versus Paul fight to past controversial events in boxing like the exhibition bouts of Mike Tyson that fans never really wanted. He admitted that the public is not asking for this matchup either, but said the sport often pushes these kinds of spectacles anyway. Garcia pointed out that Davis is far smaller than Paul, making the fight uneven from the beginning. In his view, even if fans dislike the idea, they will have to accept it because the hype and money behind it will keep it moving forward.
A fucking disgrace of a fight.
Yeah.
You know it. Just like the Mike Tyson, low-key was a disgrace, but we accepted it. But
Yeah.
he was 60 years old. I mean,
Right.
the casuals don't see the weight difference. They see Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
And if Gervonta Davis doesn't fuck up Jake Paul, they're gonna think Jake Paul is some pound-for-pound champion type of fighter.
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis he's actually really small. Like when I fought him, like, he's small.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a very unfair fight.
Jake Paul stirred things up by mocking Davis with one of his trademark stunts. In a video, he smashed a cake made to look like Davis, using it to insult and provoke him. The move was meant to embarrass Davis, but it also created a wave of online attention. Paul has built his image on promotion, and this act did its job by grabbing headlines and fueling the storyline. The tank-shaped cake stunt reminded everyone that Paul relies on mind games and showmanship just as much as he does on fighting. Seeing Davis face an opponent as big as Jake Paul will feel unusual. The size gap looks almost laughable, yet Davis holds clear advantages in speed, skill, and defense. His sharp footwork helps him move fast and stay out of danger. Paul will try to use his reach and power, but landing clean shots on a smaller and elusive Davis may not be easy. With his defense and counterpunching, Davis could still find openings despite the difference in height and weight. The real interest in this fight lies in that clash of skill against size.
Why is Gervonta Davis fighting a guy that big? There is some interest to that because you're not going to see Gervonta Davis. You're going to be able to see Gervonta Davis's feet. That's what I'm going to be interested to see, because I don't think Gervonta's going to jump out there and try to run up into Jake Paul and try to knock Jake Paul out. What I think Gervonta is going to do is Gervonta is going to move his feet, just going to move, make Jake Paul miss a lot, make Jake Paul look really dumb just by using defense on him and making him swing at the wind, because that is going to be very tough for him to hit a guy that is that little. If you play basketball, for example, and you are a tall 6'1" guy and you try to stand in front of some 5'8", real quick 5'8" guy, trust me, their first steps are gone up out of there, those little teeny weeny dudes. So that's going to be very fun and interesting to watch how that goes down. Now, on the other side, what Jake Paul's going to do. He don't have no consciousness. He doesn't have a conscience about what he's trying to do. He's going to go in there try to hurt a 60-year-old Mike Tyson. He don't care. He wanted to Nate. He's way bigger than Nate Jones when he fought Nate Jones. You think he didn't care about hitting Nate Jones upside the head? He's definitely going to be looking to try to get as much as he can get off on Gervonta Davis, and I see him trying to run up on him, trying to maul him, trying to grab him, trying to club him, trying to do all kind of craziness, man. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting thing to watch. Now, let me tell you what I really hope, and I haven't seen for this particular card, but I know that I know it's going to be good, which is the undercard. The undercard for the Canelo Alvarez fight and Terrence Crawford fight is absolutely horrendous. There's nothing on the thing that would make you want to watch to tune into that thing.
Terrence Crawford, one of the top pound-for-pound fighters, also brushed off the Davis versus Paul matchup. He questioned how promoters could allow a 195-pound fighter to face someone from 135 pounds. For him, this is not a real contest but simply a business deal. His reaction showed the same doubt many in boxing share, viewing the event as spectacle, not sport. Crawford's comments underlined the clear divide between true competition and fights created only for entertainment.
This is speed and power and explosiveness combined. They couldn't keep up with it.
Wanted to get your take on the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. They just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't have no reaction. I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. If it's scripted, then it's going to be good for the fans to watch.
What do you mean by scripted? Like rigged?
Yeah, like scripted.
But none of those guys want a fucking L, right?
I think it's not a real fight. I think it's because it can't be a real fight because they ain't in the same weight. So it'd be more like an exhibition.
I think it is an exhibition, but do you think they're but not one person saying yo, I'm gonna fucking throw the match? You think?
I don't think.
Or you never know?
Yeah, I think they're gonna go in there and spar. I don't think it's gonna be you trying to kill me or I'm trying to kill you. I think it's let's go in here and make this money. It's more of a business tactic than anything.
Because that's what Jake and Mike kind of did.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone bought into that. And then when you watched it, it was just bro, this sucks. I'm friends with Jake. I like him too, but that fight, I didn't like that one.
Jake too big for Tank, In reality, he's way too big for Tank. Tank is very talented, punch hard.
Analysts are questioning whether Davis's punches will even make a real impact on Jake Paul. In boxing, power can decide fights, but against a much bigger opponent, Davis's shots may lose effect. Many believe Paul's size could absorb much of the damage, making the challenge tougher for Davis. On the other hand, if Paul lands clean with his weight advantage, it could seriously hurt Davis. This uncertainty adds tension and raises doubts about whether the fight should even happen under these conditions.
Will it look similar to this, or will it be even more definitive in favor of Tank, like some people are suggesting? And with it being 10 rounds, Jake Paul did start to gas at the end of his last fight. If that happens, maybe Tank could look at that and go, right, I'm going to work the body early, and when you do start fading, then I'm going to fucking really put the pressure on you. And it's one thing Julio Cesar Chavez, in front of you, who's trying a little bit in the last 2 rounds, but Tank, even as small as he is, it would be a lot harder to keep him off. And what will Tank's power be like as a 135er? Like, he's probably going to be about 150 when he gets in there, maybe. Will those punches on the big fat dome of Jake Paul actually really hurt? Because power can translate up a couple of divisions, but like, that's a lot of divisions. What if Jake just takes them? No problem. I'm not saying he will. I'm just saying it would be fucking weird. This really is size versus skill in its purest form, and that is why I've got to admit I'm fascinated to see it. To be honest, I'm a little disappointed as well, because I wanted to see Tank versus Roach after they went to a draw in their last fight, a very controversial draw. I think Tank should have fucking lost it, to be honest. Tank doesn't give a shit about legacy and belts. He doesn't give two shits about that. He just wants money. And unfortunately, it's going to really hinder his legacy. His legacy will just be, yeah, he had a good run, but he's never going to be up there with the greats, despite his talent. That being said, if he chins Jake Paul, it won't really matter, because everyone will fucking love him, won't they? And ironically, I said Tank should be fighting Roach, but Jake Paul clearly now should be fighting Darren Till. This was Darren's fight the other night against Luke Rockhold, former UFC middleweight champion. Dropped him. Hard to watch. There was just a massive gap in ability there. Like, Rockhold being like a very well-rounded fighter in MMA, but Till just such a specialist in stand-up, and it showed. And this knockout was fucking brutal. Oh god, it was a terrible one. I mean, his leg was bent back and everything.
A controversial rumor has surfaced claiming Gervonta Davis might be offered up to $200 million to purposely lose against Jake Paul. The idea that Davis could take the money and give Paul the win has angered many fans. People see it as a threat to boxing's credibility since it casts doubt on whether the fight is genuine. If the rumor were true, the matchup would shift from being about skill or legacy to being only about business. This speculation has split opinions and left fans questioning if the event is real competition or staged entertainment.
Now, really, y'all worry about the wrong question. Y'all worry about Roach, but the real question is, damn, is Tank getting paid $150, $200 million to take that dive versus Jake? Is he gonna do it? Now, I'm just thinking, like, damn, like, for them, $200 million? It's an exhibition, they gonna go on your record? Shit, what would I do? Would I take $200 million to lose a fake fight? Damn, G, Jake might win this fight, bro, because of shit. $200 million is an exhibition. Y'all already talking shit. $200 million. Will I take the dive? I think $200 million is worth taking a dive, gang. I honestly do think so. And it ain't even a real fight. I hope that's not the case, but that's a fucking solid fucking question. What the fuck is gonna happen in this fight? Like, is he gonna take the dive? It's an exhibition, so somebody gotta win. It's not real. It's like a play. When you really think about it, it's sparring. It's not real. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What y'all think? What would you do? Would you take the $200 million to motherfucking lose to Jake Paul?
That wraps up today's video.